Remember that ruling by this punk-ass federal judge in Texas? What was his name? Catamaran or something. What was the bastard's name? Where he said that back in April that the Food and Drug Administration's 23-year-old approval of the abortion pill, mifepristone, that he decided it was not going to happen. Nah, shit, no. Kacsmaryk, that was the bastard's name. Matthew Kacsmaryk or Kacsmaryk, whatever the hell his name is. Kacsmaryk, I guess. The Northern District of Texas. A Trump appointee. Longtime opponent of abortion. These fuckers are following religion and not the law. But they don't care. That's why they were appointed. That's why the Christian demons love the orange vomit. They love him. And every one of the bastards will vote for him in 2024. Oh, will they ever? But the 3-judge panel of a federal appeals court is hearing the appeal by the F.D.A. and other interested parties about the ruling by this little prick, Kacsmaryk, whatever. And this 3-judge panel on the appeals court appeared skeptical of the government's position yesterday, Wednesday. And the government's position was being presented by lawyers for the Food and Drug Administration. They were arguing that a commonly used abortion pill should remain available. What the fuck? But you see, here we are again, aren't we? Huh? Here we are again, familiar territory. The Christian fascists, once again, are going to wind up and punch women right in the goddamn gut. Again and again and again. Punch the bitches. And that's what they're doing. Now, there was a 2-hour hearing yesterday in New Orleans where the Fifth Circuit meets. Is it the Fifth Circuit? I think, yeah. And during this 2-hour hearing, question and comments, it's being reported by the Times, questions and comments from the 3 judges demonstrated a very palpable skepticism of the Food and Drug Administration lawyers' defense. And they were also critical of the Food and Drug Administration. Of course they were, because the Food and Drug Administration is a pagan organization. There's no Jesus there, right? And also, these judges displayed an incredible lack of familiarity with medication abortion. Half these Christian bastards don't have a clue. They just know that, well, if it involves a woman, she ain't going to get it. Now, the case is still in early stages before this 3-judge panel, and it's a 3-judge panel. It will be heard, and I think the term is en banc, where all 14, 15, whatever the number is, federal appeals court judges can hear an appeal of the appeal, I guess. I'm pretty sure. But this case is still in the early stages, and any decision is obviously going to be appealed. But this could have ultimately profound, very scary, unreal implications, and we citizens are not giving this the focus that I think we need to be giving it. If that Nazi Christian judge Kacsmaryk's ruling is upheld, access to medication abortion would be ended across the country. In states where abortion is legal, illegal, restricted, whatever. But the thing that is even more horrific, because in their attempt to beat the shit out of women, these Christian fascists, if they rule in favor of this little prick judge in North Texas, the ruling will mean that the Food and Drug Administration's decisions on approval of drugs All drugs, any drug, fucking aspirin, can now be challenged by the Christian fascists, and there will be precedent to outlaw a drug with all the scientific research behind it that is necessary. I am not a big defender of big pharma. You know that. But to give the authority of approving or disapproving drugs to a little shithead Christian terrorist in Texas, over 330 million Americans? Oh, yeah, it's more than just the women, guys. It's all of us. Unbelievable. The FDA's authority, regulatory authority, over any drug, if this little prick bastard's decision is upheld, could be challenged. Could be all sorts of lawsuits. And here's the real kick in the gut, not just for women. They have been experiencing a kick in the gut since Roe v. Wade was overturned and before Roe v. Wade. But all of us now. The kick in the gut is that pharmaceutical companies are saying that if the FDA's role in approving a drug could be taken from them anytime a Christian fascist son of a bitch wants to challenge the FDA's role, that would absolutely chill drug development in the United States. I know. We're supposed to get all of our medications from Amazonian plants. Would that were true. Huh? I am totally in favor of natural curatives, but we don't live in that world. We live in a world that is polluted with everything. I mean, you have chemicals that go into electric transformers in your fucking bloodstream. And so do your children. We don't live in that world where if you have pain, you chew some bark and the pain will go away. At one time, yes, we did. But we have fucked up our Garden of Eden to the point where we need the science. Now, if you don't believe that, okay. The next time you hear of somebody getting a diagnosis of cancer, any cancer, what are you going to say to them? Go chew some bark? Go eat you can't eat mistletoe berries, they'll kill you. Go chew on this stalk or that leaf? No, you're not going to say that. If you're a decent person, you're not going to say shit except to acknowledge that person and hope that they choose a therapy that will help. But the Christian fascists want to say to that person, oh, no. Because we decided that the bitches cannot have this chemical abortion pill, you, sir or madam, have been deprived of the development of a drug to wipe out your cancer. You don't like that? Well, talk to Jesus. Don't talk to us, huh? We're just doing God's will. God, I hate these people. According to the New York Times, the arguments included whether the parties who brought the suit and the Christian terrorists who did this is a coalition of organizations and doctors who oppose abortion and do not prescribe this pill, mifepristone, whether they could show, the people who brought the suit, whether they could show that they would suffer harm if the medication continued to be available, and whether they waited too long to challenge the approval of this drug, which is the first pill of a 2-drug regimen. So you have to show where you're going to be harmed. You have to have standing to bring a case like this. And standing means, well, if you don't rule in my favor, I'm going to be harmed. Okay, and somebody, maybe you can send me an email and tell me how a white Christian male, 45-year-old physician will be harmed if a woman in goddamn Vermont takes mifepristone and this doctor lives in Tucson? How is he going to be harmed? Well, he won't be. In other words, he has no standing in this case, and neither do the people, the organizations and doctors who brought this case. God. The plaintiffs also claim the bastards who brought the case. They say, well, mifepristone is unsafe, and the F.D.A. did not follow proper regulatory protocols in approving the drug in 2000. And the F.D.A. says that's bullshit. They cited years of research and all sorts of support for the F.D.A.'s actions. But this three-judge panel consists of two appointees by the filthy pig Donald Trump, and the war criminal George W. Bush has an appointee. So those are the three judges. Gets a little hairy, doesn't it? Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.